Shalom, Kol Haloyim, La Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and what taught us his knowledge. Honors and salutations to you, fellow Akim out there that's doing the work of truth sincerely. Shalom to you, and shalom to the Akwaf that believe as well. I'm back at you with another lesson, and basically it's surrounding the scattering and gathering of the nation of Israel, okay? Because that's whom salvation is for. All right, when you go into the word salvation, right, go and look it up on the online etymology dictionary. All right, salvation. And we're going to see what it means, because a lot of people believe that salvation is for all nations, and that's not true. All right, salvation is not for all nations, and it was not meant for all nations. Okay, salvation says originally in the Christian sense, the saving of the soul, deliverance from the power of sin, and admission to eternal bliss, that's going off. When you jump down here, it says from Latin salvare, it says to save, right? Because that's simply what it is, to save. All right. It says protection or preservation from destruction. Now that's more like it, because we know that the destruction of Babylon, all right, Babylon the Great, also known as the daughter of Babylon, which is America, we know that it's drawing nigh, okay? And the Lord is going to save, all right, his elect, okay? As is written in Matthew 24:30. It says protection or preservation from destruction, danger, calamity, right? It says source, cause, or means of salvation, a preserver, defender, all right? So basically it's the act of saving, all right? When you get, all the way through the definitions or meanings, it's the act of saving, okay? So when you go into the scriptures, okay, the nation of Israel, all right, the 12 tribes of Israel, all right, which were scattered, all right, that's whom the Lord said that he would save, okay? Now, let's start with the scattering or being removed, okay? Because the nation of Israel was removed or scattered, all right, into all the countries and removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. All right, now let's go to the book of Deuteronomy 28 and 25. Okay, we will start at 15 because to get an understanding, all right, what's going on, all right, and what's happening, because these curses are prophetic events of evil that will happen to the children of Israel for being disobedient. Okay, Deuteronomy 28 and 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and the statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So a curse is something that's evil, or something that's bad is going to happen to you, because the word evil and bad is the same thing, okay? So this will happen to who? The Israelites, because whom was the law given to, all right? Whom was the statutes and judgments, all right, given to? It was given to the children of Israel by the hand of Moses, okay? Which Moses had, received, the law, commandments and statutes from the Lord, okay? That's when he came out of the mount and he had them written on the tablets of stone. Okay, well, the Lord caused them to be written on the tablets of stone. All right, he given them to the, his people, all right, the children of Israel, which were standing, at the bottom of the mount, okay? It says, in verse 25, the Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and shalt be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. Okay, and so this happened. All right, this actually took place, and it happened unto the nation of Israel. All right, where we was removed. All right, we were scattered. All right, into the kingdoms of the earth. Okay, and this even reiterated by some of the prophets. Okay, which I'll get here in a second. All right, some of the prophets even mentioned that the Lord would do this unto us for being disobedient. Okay, uh, Ezekiel 12:15 it says, "And they shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, when I shall scatter them among the nations and disperse them in the countries." Okay, because when you go into how we were removed, okay, we were removed, right, by our enemies, okay, which are the heathens, or the other nations, and they would take us into their lands. Okay, they would take us into their lands. And Shalakia for the noise, I live right next to the airport, so it's kind of noisy sometimes. You may hear a plane here and there. But continuing on, all right, going into the nation being removed, all right. It says here in 2 Kings 17, starting at verse 18, it says, "Therefore the Lord was angry with Israel and removed them out of his sight." Which what's that talking about? Well, removing us out of his sight, meaning what? Casting us out of the land, all right, which he had given unto our forefathers, all right, which would be the land of Canaan, all right, which is known as the land of Israel today. Okay. It says, "Therefore the Lord was angry with Israel and removed them out of his sight. There was none left but the tribe of Judah only." Now this is talking about who? Us northern tribes, okay? Those of us that our fathers are so-called Native Americans or so-called indigenous to America, Hispanic, Latino, whatever, the labels and names they put on us today. All right. We were removed out. And when you go into the top of the chapter, it speaks about the Assyrians, how the Assyrians have, taken us away, okay, under Salmanassar the fifth, okay. Matter of fact, I'll just jump up and I'll jump down, right? Let's see. Or was it down further? Oh yeah, okay, come. Sorry, I went the wrong way. So let's read down, okay? Yeah, let's read down. Shalakia. Verse 19. "Also Judah kept not the commandments of the Lord their power, but walked in the statutes of Israel which they made. And the Lord rejected all the seed of Israel, and afflicted them, and delivered them into the hand of spoilers," which the spoilers was the heathens, "until he had cast them out of his sight." Meaning what? We would be removed, all right, into the, from our land, all right, into the lands of our enemies, which are the heathens, which were the spoilers, okay? Because the Lord sent the spoilers against us, okay? The Lord had given us up unto our enemies, because that's a way of him punishing us, okay? Remember, the Lord said he would, send our enemies, that hate us, all right? And really they was, jealous of us because of, they know that we're the Lord's chosen people. And so they would do it, with great pleasure, okay? Because the Lord had given us into their hand, all right? And they would, profit off of us, because one thing about, having, slaves is slaves make you rich and make you prosperous, okay? It says, verse 21. Well, actually, I'm gonna jump down. Okay, let's jump down. Okay. Verse 22. For the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam, which he did. They departed not from them, until the Lord removed Israel out of his sight, and he, as he had said by all his servants the prophets, so was Israel carried away out of their own land to Assyria until this day. So this happened to us northern tribes, okay, where we were removed, okay, by the Assyrians, okay, and from the the Syrian captivity, the overwhelming majority of us, all right, never returned. Okay, you had sprinkles of us that was there, but for the most part, the vast majority of us was taken into Assyria, and from Assyria, we was led over here to the Americas as you know them as, which that's what Second Esdras, the 13th chapter, is about. Okay, it goes into how we were carried away. All right, same thing I'm reading right here in Second Kings, how we were carried away by the Assyrians. All right, then it tells you that um, we didn't basically want to live under the Assyrians no more. We want to go into a further land where never mankind dwelt, so we can there keep our statutes. I'll just get it, because you can see for yourself. But when we talk about us northern tribes, when they go into it, you got to bring this out because this is actually all right took place. Okay, this took place and it happened to us. All right, and it proves that us northern tribes where we came to, and it proves that we were moved out by the Assyrians, which is secular history anyway. And even the so-called explorers, like Cristobal Colon, they knew where we were because of the scriptures. All right, they knew that we had went to a further land where never mankind dwelt there, and they knew about this side of the world. Okay, through our brethren that were on that side of the world. All right, and through the scriptures, man. All right, Second Esdras 13, and verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hoshea the king, whom Salmanassar the king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so they came into another land. But they took, and that's secular history. You can look it up. It was Salmanassar the fifth. Okay, it says verse 41. It says, but they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt. All right, that they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land, because that will cause us to be removed, man. Like I said, walking in the sins of Jeroboam. All right, which you go into, the acts of Jeroboam. I tell you that, he caused us to go off. All right, and we all start, worship idols and all kind of, nonsense, which is wickedness. All right, iniquity, because the Heavenly Father told us, all right, the whole nation that don't have no other God before him. All right, don't worship these idols. All right, don't bow down to them and serve them. Okay, and he said that he's a jealous God. Okay, and so that moved the Heavenly Father to jealousy. That moved the Heavenly Father to anger. Okay, and that's the reason why when the anger of the Lord was kindled, what did he do? He was sending our enemies against us. Okay, now let's go to 2 Kings 24 and verse 3. Okay, now this is pertaining to Judah, because it said that it left Judah, okay, in the land, right? Because we were removed first. Okay, those of us that you call so-called Latinos or Native Americans, we were removed first. Okay, the Lord cast us out of the sight. I mean, it cast us out of our land first. Okay, and then you had the tents of Judah that were left predominantly. Okay, and then the Babylonians took away the tents of Judah. Okay, 2 Kings 24 and 1. In his days, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came up, and Jehoiakim became his servant 3 years. Then he turned and rebelled against him. And the Lord sent against him bands of the Chaldees, and bands of the Syrians, and bands of the Moabites, and bands of the children of Ammon, and sent them against Judah to destroy it according to the word of the Lord, which he spake by his servants the prophets. Surely the commandment of the Lord came this upon Judah, to remove them out of his sight for the sins of Manasseh, according to all that he did. Okay, so now you have the southern kingdom being removed out of the sight of the Lord, meaning what? They was cast out of the land as well. All right, and they would go on and go into the Babylonian captivity. Okay, so all the tribes were removed by way of captivity under the Assyrian captivities, all right, and the Babylonian captivity. Okay, so we were all cast out. Okay, and so being cast out, still the Lord said he would, gather us. All right, which goes into salvation. The gathering of our people, it goes into salvation, right? Because the Heavenly Father, yeah, he got wroth with us. All right, yeah, he did turn his face from us, right? But ultimately, he remembered his mercy, all right, and love for our forefathers, okay? Because the Lord even mentioned, certain men that were prophets that stood before him. Let me get that. Because the Lord repented of his anger, at times, and had mercy on us, man. All right. But then what would we do? We would turn around and we would, commit iniquity again, which is what? Sinning against the Heavenly Father. Okay. And the Lord got wroth with that. He got angry with us because we would continuously be rebellious as a nation, man, as a people. Okay. Jeremiah 15:1. Then said the Lord unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be toward this people. Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth. See? And that actually happened. Okay. Like I just read, we were cast out of the land. Okay. And we went forth into these different countries. All right. And kingdoms. All right. Of these heathen, man. Okay. Matter of fact, let me get another one. The book of Nehemiah 1:7. We have dealt very corruptly against thee, and have not kept the commandments, nor the statutes, nor the judgments, which thou commandest thy servant Moses. Right? Because the Lord gave Moses, the laws, commandments, statutes, and judgments for us to observe throughout all our generations for a perpetual covenant and memorial. All right, and to teach them to our children and our children's children. All right, so on and so forth down the line. All right, throughout all our generations, we were to keep these laws, commandments, statutes, and judgments. Okay, because like the scriptures tell you that would be our wisdom in the sight of the nations. All right, the laws, commandments, statutes, and judgments that the Lord gave unto our forefathers, that what made us holy. That what made us separate from the other nations. See, that's why when these curses fell upon us, you can tell, even unto this very day, whom are the people of the Lord by the curses that happen unto us, the prophetic curses, which are the prophetic events, all right, that were happening to us, and that's still upon us as a sign, all right, to know that these are the people of the Lord, that they're being punished or being cursed because of their disobedience, and that's when the nation. Oh, sorry, that's why when the nations look upon us, they see these curses, man. All right, that's the reason why when we bring out the curses of Deuteronomy 28th chapter and prove that we're the people of the Lord, all right, that's why people they know we're the people of the Lord, but then they try to act like they're the people of the Lord too, and that salvation is for them. No, you didn't go through the curses with us, so how you gonna be receiving salvation with us? All right, it was never meant to be that way. See, and the Lord is going to put the curses that we had to go through on the heathen nations, but right now, as it stands, yeah, you may see some of the curses starting to take effect on these heathen, but ultimately they haven't really felt the or dealt with the harshness of the curses yet. Okay, so verse 8 it says, Remember, I beseech thee, the word that thou commandest thy servant Moses, saying, if ye transgress, I will scatter you abroad among the nations. Okay. So again, there's another scripture that the Lord said that he would scatter us if we transgress. What's transgress? Break his law. Okay, that's what it says in the book of 1 John 3 and 4. Let me get that. It says 1 John 3 and 4, whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law. For sin is the for sin is the transgression of the law. See? So, that's the reason why, again, for as a penalty, all right, or as a result of us breaking the Lord's law, all right, the curses will come upon us. Okay. So let's move on from there. I'm gonna move from there. Let's get into the gathering, okay? Let's go from there. I'm gonna go to the book of Ezekiel. All right, this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 36 and verse 24. It says, "For I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries." Remember, the Lord scattered us, all right, into all the countries, right? Or moved us into all the countries, right? Now he's talking about what? Gathering us out of these countries, right? "For I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries and will bring you into your own land." See? And that's what the Lord get ready to do now. That's the reason why you have all these signs of his coming, all right, which is referring to the coming of Yahushua. His name ain't Jesus, his name ain't Yeshua. His name is Yahushua. All right. The reason why Yahushua is getting ready to come back, with the angels and the chariots which are appearing in the news, all right, more and more, is because he's going to gather, all right, the remnant, starting with the election of that remnant, all right, of our people, all right, Shalakia. Start the elect of that, of the remnant, which is the 1/3 is the remnant, right? What's the remainder, the portion that's left over. Beginning with the elect, he's going to, gather us, all right, and bring us into our own land, okay, as he promised our forefathers that he would give us the land, all right, and then he also told us that what, I scattered you in these lands, but I'm going to gather you and bring you to your own land, because it was only because of punishment that we were moved into these different lands, as I read in the precepts I read before, because we was never meant to be here forever, all right, in these different lands, okay? We were never meant to, live forever in the lands of the heathens or these different lands outside of our land that the Lord had given us. See? Let me see here. Luke 4 and 6. "You were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because you moved the Heavenly Father to wrath, ye were delivered unto the enemies." See? That's what happened. We were delivered unto our enemies because the Lord had done that. That's why it says, when we bring out Isaiah 42, I believe that is, who gave Jacob for a spoil. Right? Matter of fact, let me get that. All right, Slacky. Let me get that. Because it speaks about that. Isaiah 42 and verse 24, it says, "Who gave Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robbers? Did not the Lord, he against whom we have sinned? For they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law." See, it goes back to breaking that law, man. All right. The Lord gave us a law for a reason. All right. That was our ordinance to live by, man. All right. That's the covenant that the Lord made with us. All right. I'm gonna give you my law. All right. You keep it. All right. And what did we say as a nation? That we will perform and do them. All right. The Lord said, "You keep my law, I will make you a nation of kings and priests." Right. You will be a special people unto him, right? Above all people that are upon the face of the earth. And when we didn't keep that covenant, the Lord made us to be below all the the nations or the people of the earth, man. Okay. It says, verse 25. Therefore he had poured upon him the fury of his anger and the strength of battle, and it had set him on fire round about, yet he knew not, and it burned him, yet he laid it not to heart. See? Because, even unto this very day, man, our people, when you tell our people, the things that happen to us and the reason why it happened to us, they still can't grasp onto why. All right, because the Lord have them blocked, man. Most of our people are blocked, as far as, the Lord have given them the eyes of slumber, you know. Back in Baruch 4, it says, Baruch 4 and 6 again, ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye moved the Heavenly Father to wrath, ye were delivered unto the enemies. For ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not to the Most High. Ye have forgotten the everlasting power that brought you up, and ye have grieved Jerusalem that nursed you. See? It says, for when she saw the wrath of the Most High coming upon you, she said, hearken, O ye that dwell about Zion. The Most High had brought upon me great mourning. For I, hey, and that's uh, you know, a severe punishment that we have to go through, all right, to correct us, all right, because the Lord said he would correct us, all right, by measure. And, that was a severe punishment for us, man, all right, because, we're his children, man. Not all people, like the wacky-tacky Christians say, oh, we're all God's children. No, that's not true, okay? You go in the scriptures, it don't say that we all God's children, all right? It says that the Israelites are God's children, all right? It says Israel is my son, even my firstborn. That's what it says in the scriptures, okay? So Israel and the sons of Israel are the Lord's sons, man. All right, we're sons and daughters, right? So that's just one of them Christianity lies, okay? When you believe that, we are God's people. And they'll use, uh, biblical verses which they don't have no understanding of to try to manipulate you to think that we all are God's people, So let's move on from there. Let's go from there. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah. I'm going to go to the book of Jeremiah, the 33rd chapter. All right. This is Jeremiah 33. And see, Jeremiah 33, starting at 25. Well, I started 24. All right. It says, considerest thou not what this people have spoken, saying, the two families which the Lord had chosen, he had even cast them off? Yeah, because, that's kind of, what I read earlier, when it came down to us being split up as a nation, that's how it became, two families, or, excuse me, known as two kingdoms, because we became the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom. All right. The southern kingdom was known as, the Jews, all right, or the tents of Judah, all right, or just known as Judah, all right. And then you had, us northern tribes, we've been known as, Ephraim, Israel, right? Because we had split up as a nation, during the time of Jeroboam and Rehoboam, okay? And we became two families or two kingdoms, okay? It says, thus have they despised my people, that they should be no more a nation before them, because when the Lord would send our enemies, which are the heathen nations, against us, all right, they would want to, keep us, in captivity forever, all right. and didn't want to let us go, like Pharaoh. All right, Pharaoh refused to let us go. All right, but that was a purpose why Pharaoh didn't let us go, because when you go in the scriptures, the Lord had hardened Pharaoh's heart so that his power may be shown. All right, just like Esau. All right, to this very day, Esau have us under. We found the Esau hand. Esau haven't let us go. All right, we're still living underneath these Edomites, man. At this very day, we're under the Edomites, man. We have to, we're being governed under their laws. All right, we're being governed by their penal codes, which oppress us. Right, and so that's the reason why the Heavenly Father, all right, gave us His only begotten Son, all right, to be our Redeemer, and that's what He's going to do. He's going to come back to redeem, all right, the remnant of Jacob. Okay. Now let me continue on. It says, thus they have despised my people, that they should be no more a nation before them. And that goes into by the way, that goes into Psalms the 83rd chapter. All right, they have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. That the heathen actually did that. All right, through captivity, well, especially this captivity, through so-called America. All right, we have totally lost all our identity, all right, the heritage as a people. All right, Jeremiah 17:4 took place. We discontinued from the heritage that the Lord gave us. That's why you look at it. That's why you look at the fact that we have these different names upon us. Puerto Rican, Negro, Mexican, Cuban, so on and so forth, man. All right, Haitian, Guatemalan, Dominican, all right, West Indies, what's the other names? You have Chileans, Argentinians, right? All these different names that was placed upon us, all right, other than our true names, all right, being, Judah, Ephraim, Gad, Manasseh, Asher, so on and so forth, right? All the names that our forefathers, our forefather Jacob wives had given us, through the patriarchs, all right, which are the sons of Jacob, all right, that the names of his sons will, which will become tribes. Basically, we're not called by those names, and if you call yourself by those names, they don't look at us, well, basically they don't. The heathens don't recognize us as a nation, especially being a nation of whom the Lord had chosen. All right. And they don't look at us as the Lord's people, period, man. All right. They don't look at us as the Israelites. All right. They look at us like, niggas, the spicks, the wetbacks, what have you, right? All these derogatory terms, right? That's when they look at us. When they look at us, they look at us as such, They don't look and say, oh, these are the people of the Lord right here, No, they don't say that. They look at this and say, look at these, so and so and so forth, crazy names. All right. And the names change too, by the way. All right. It says, thus said the Lord, verse 25, thus said the Lord, if my covenant be not with day and night, and if I have not appointed the ordinance of heaven and earth, then will I cast away the seed of Jacob and David my servant, so that I will not take any of his seed to be rulers over the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. For I will cause their captivity to return and have mercy on them. Right, and the ultimate mercy of the Lord for us is being granted salvation. Right, those of us that are, Lord willing, we endure to the end, because we have to endure. But those of us that are going to be saved, Lord willing, I'm one of those men. All right. And we're going to truly see the Lord's mercy. All right. When we're saved from the destruction, the danger that's coming to this kingdom, Babylon the Great. Okay. Because that's the Lord showing his mercy to, again, the seed of Jacob, which Jacob name changed to Israel. Okay. Now let's go from there. I want to go to the book of let's go to Second Chronicles. Excuse me. This is the book of Second Chronicles 33 and verse 8. We'll start up a little bit. Let me see. We go right. We go right there to verse 8. Second Chronicles 33 and 8. It says, "Neither will I anymore remove the foot of Israel from out of the land which I have appointed for your fathers, so that they will take heed to do all that I have commanded them, according to the whole law and the statutes and the ordinances by the hand of Moses." All right, because this haven't took place yet, right? All right, we haven't been taken back to our land yet, as of yet. All right, and the Lord said, once He take us back to the land, all right, they ain't gonna no more remove us. Okay, so this right here, haven't taken place yet, where all the the Lord people is gathered, all right, which the remnant, right, and been taken back to the land, all right, and the Lord have increased us, all right, because the Lord said He would increase us, all right, He would take us back to the land and will increase us. Okay, I'm gonna get that too. Okay, let's get one of them. Let's see. Let's go to Jeremiah. Back to Jeremiah. As a matter of fact, is that 30? Jeremiah 30. Let me see. Bear with me 1 second. Jeremiah 30 and 11. "For I am with thee, saith the Lord, to save thee, though I make a full end of all nations, whither I have scattered thee, yet will I not make a full end of thee, but I will correct thee in measure, and will not leave thee altogether unpunished." Right. So that's what the Lord did unto us, right? He like I said earlier, he as a measurement as a measurement of correctness, he put us under these heathen, all right, to punish us. Okay. Even though the heathen forward our affliction too. Okay. They did forward our affliction. Okay. Matter of fact, let me see. Let me see. It says I will increase. Let me see. Increase him. Wait 1 second. Let me grab this precept. Well, the Lord said He will increase us, right? Let me see. Oh, it's not that one. It's a precept that says the Lord will increase. Or it says make him fruitful. If I'm not mistaken, make him fruitful. No, that's not that one. Bear me 1 second. I know it's a precept that says that. Matter of fact, it come to me. I'll it come to me. I'll get it. Maybe Zephaniah, but let me get it real quick. Let me go to Zephaniah 3. This is Zephaniah 3 I believe it's in here. No, it's not that either. See, man, I kind of want to find it, man, because the Lord said He would do that for His people. Not that one. Well, you know what? If it come back to me, I'll just go to it. I'm just move on. You know, keep the lesson going. This is grab another precept. Let's go to Isaiah 43. Right, Isaiah 43, verse 5. Right, Isaiah 43 and 5. It says, "Fear not, for I am with thee. I will bring thy seed from the east and gather thee from the west." Because remember that we were scattered among all the nations. All right, Deuteronomy 28:64 said that the Lord will remove us. All right, and to scatter us. It's like you scatter us among all nations. All right, and I already read earlier that He will remove us to all the countries. Okay, which that pertains to what? The lands, the different lands. Okay, and so the Lord said He's going to gather us from these different lands. Okay, from the east to the west. All right, from the east and from the west. I'm sorry. Okay, the Lord is going to gather us. All right, and He never says He's going to gather, anyone else. All right, the gathering is going to be for, the children of Israel. Okay. Verse 5 says, "I will say to the north, give up, and to the south, keep not back. Bring my sons from far and my daughters from the ends of the earth." All right, everyone, even everyone that is called by my name, for I have created him for my glory. I have formed him, yea, I have made him. See, talking about who? Israel. Okay, the Lord's inheritance, man. Okay, and this is the reason why the nations don't want us to know that. They want us to remain in this, in the basically remain in that state of being mentally and spiritually dead and not knowing the covenants of promise that the Lord had promised our forefathers. They want us to remain in captivity. They want us to remain on the bottom of society so that they can benefit off of us and they can continue to prosper, and pass on, different things like wealth into their generations. Okay, because they know once we come up, they go down. Especially Esau, because Esau know that, that the sons of Jacob, we have next. We're the next ones to rule, and not only are we going to rule, we're going to rule, forever, man. We're going to never not come out of we're not going to ever come out of rulership. All right, we're going to reign with Yahweh Shai. Okay. It says Jeremiah 31 and verse 8. "Behold, I will bring them from the north country." See, he mentioned the north country again. "And gather them from the coasts of the earth, and with them the blind and the lame, the woman with child, and her that travaileth with child together. A great company shall return thither." See, because that goes even to the mixed multitude. That's in Revelation the 7th chapter. All right, the Lord is going to cause His people to return. All right, and the ultimate way we're going to return to the land is by way of the chariots, which Esau called UFOs. See, it says, verse 9, "They shall come with weeping, and with supplications will I lead them. I will cause them to walk by the rivers of waters in a straight way, wherein they shall not stumble. For I am a father to Israel." See, and Ephraim is my firstborn. See, they don't want us to know that. See, hear the word, verse 10, "Hear the word of the Lord, O ye nations, and declare it in the isles afar off, and say, He that scattered Israel will gather him, and keep him as a shepherd doth his flock." See, the Lord scattered us, man. All right, I read in Isaiah 42, "Who gave Jacob for a spoil?" All right, the Lord the Lord scattered us, and He's going to gather us. All right, it says, verse 11, "For the Lord hath redeemed Jacob, and ransomed him from the hand of him that was stronger than he. Okay. Therefore they shall come and sing in the height of Zion, and shall flow together to the goodness of the Lord, for wheat and for wine and for oil and for the young of the flock of the herd and of the herd, and their soul shall be as a watered garden, and they shall not sorrow any more at all. All right. And right now we're sorrowing because why? The Lord has caused us to remember ourselves. All right. That's what's written in the book of Baruch. It says in the land of their captivity, they will remember themselves. All right. And it says that, matter of fact, let me get that. That's Baruch 2, I believe. Where it says in the land of their captivity, they will remember themselves. And here we go. Baruch 2 and 30. For I knew that they will not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves. All right. Where we at? We're still in our captivity. All right. Baruch 3rd chapter and 8th verse say, behold, we are in captivity. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity. All right. Where we have been, scattered for reproach and a curse. Okay. So the Lord calls us to remember ourselves in our captivity. Okay. This is how we know, the things we know now. It's all through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right. All right. Through the Holy Spirit, which is the Lord's word, which we have an understanding, and we know the truth, and we understand what has took place and what's going to take place. All right, as far as concerning our people. And then also the judgment for the heathen nations for what they have done unto us. Okay. Because we were led away to captivity under these heathen nations, but we're going to have the heathen nations in captivity as well. And that's what the heathen nations start with Esau don't want to know. Well, they don't want you to know, and they don't want to hear that judgment, because that judgment is on its way. Okay. But again, in this captivity, okay, we remembered ourselves, all right, and now we're calling on our power, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, it speaks about this. All right, this is Jeremiah 50, right? Because it mentioned, in the other precept I read that we're gonna, basically, we're not gonna be mourning anymore, right? And then the reason why we're mourning right now is because, we're waiting on the Lord to come and redeem us and save us, right? But the Lord's gonna take away our mourning, all right, and our suffering. We just have to wait and be patient and endure, right? And that's the reason why you see, the tribes, that the Lord have given this knowledge to of all the tribes, which we say the hope of the elect. What we're doing, we're gathering together, and we're doing the Lord's will. Okay, Jeremiah 50, and also not only doing the Lord's will, because we've been given the gift of faith, right? It starts with faith. Okay, we've been given the gift of faith, but we also are rehearsing the same law that we broke, that landed us in captivity. We're rehearsing it, which is a shadow of things to come. All right. This is Jeremiah 50 and verse 4. In those days and in that time, saith the Lord, the children of Israel, which are the northern tribes, shall come, they and the children of Judah together, going and weeping. They shall go and seek Yahweh Bashem Yahushua their power. They shall ask the way to Zion with their faces thitherward, saying, come and let us join ourselves to the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, in the perpetual covenant that shall not be forgotten. Okay. And that's what we're doing. All right. We're we're weeping together on one accord. All right. Those of us that truly believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and we're asking the Lord to come and save us and redeem us from under the hand of our enemies. Okay. And the Lord is going to save us and redeem us. All right. As far as the remnant, all right, the election, all right, which again, you have 1/3, and then you have the elect, which come out of the 1/3. All right, total of 1/3 of us is going to be saved, man. Okay, but the point is, All right, the Lord is going to, ultimately, save his, his people, which is, all of the children of Israel. Okay, that's why when you go to Isaiah, which I'm going to read, Isaiah, 11:11. All right, it says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people. All right, which shall be left from Assyria. All right, which we know what this Assyria was about, right? And from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. Right, all these lands, that's that's possessing the Lord's children. All right, the Lord's going to remove his children or sift his children, because the Lord said in Amos, the 9th chapter, that he's going to sift the house of Israel. All right, from among all nations. All right, let me go there real quick. Let me get that. All right, this is the book of Amos, chapter 9 and 9. It says, "For lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations." All right, because remember, we were scattered. All right, among all nations, like as corn is sifted in the sieve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. Okay. It says, all the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. So, and that's the 2/3, whose sins, all right, are going to be, held to them in the day of judgment because they didn't return. All right, they didn't hearken. Right. But the elect sins are going to be forgiven. All right, that's why King David said, "Blessed is he whom the Lord imputed not iniquity." Okay, Isaiah 11:11. I'm sorry, 11:12. I'm at 12. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel. All right, Ephraim, Reuben, Gad, Manasseh, Naphtali, Asher, Simeon, Zebulun, all of us northern tribes, right? And gather together the dispersed of Judah. All right, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, from the four corners of the earth. See, that's what saving. All right, that's saving or recovering or gathering. All right, his people. See that they want you to think that the Lord is going to gather all people. No, the Lord is going to gather his people. Okay. I mean, plain and simple. The Lord is going to gather his people and his people only. Which he promised, aforetime to our forefathers to do. This is Psalms 53:6. Oh, that the salvation of Israel will come out of Zion. When the Heavenly Father bringeth back the captivity of his people, Jacob shall rejoice and Israel shall be glad. See, because it's why? That's who salvation is meant for. All right? For Israel. Okay? I mean, you can get mad. You can say, this is our own interpretation, which is not. The scriptures, in the book of Peter tell you that the scriptures are of no private interpretation, man. It just, the truth hurts, man. The truth hurts, man. The truth fucking hurts, man. Okay, and it's hurting, the heathen, because they realize that they have no hope in the Lord. That's why, when it says in Amos, "Woe unto you who desire the day of the Lord," that especially goes for you heathen that, you especially in Christianity, they say, "Oh, I've accepted Jesus Christ," and they call the Lord, they call our Savior, Jesus Christ, is my personal Savior, shit like that, But it's over, man. It's over, man. The Lord has sealed his people with the truth. Isaiah 46 and verse 3, it says, "Hearken unto me, O house of Jacob, and all the remnant of the house of Israel, which are born by me from the belly, which are carried from the womb." All right. And how are we hearkening? We're hearkening by doing what's commanded of us. All right. We're trimming our lamps. Okay. we're preparing ourselves for the bridegroom, okay? Or no, or the bride's preparing herself for the groom, all right? Which, the bride will be, the nation of Israel, all right, the elect, which we say the hopeful elect, right? We hope to be a part of the elect, right? And the groom will be Yahweh Shai, man. Okay. Let's go from there. What was that? 6. Let's go over from there. Let's jump over a few chapters. Grab another precept. All right. Isaiah 49:6. And he said, it is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant to raise up the tribes of Jacob and to restore the preserved of Israel. Yeah, who's the preserved of Israel? All right. The elect. All right. I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles, that thou mayest be my salvation unto the end of the earth. Thus saith the Lord, the Redeemer of Israel, and his Holy One, to him whom man despiseth. Okay. So, again, the Lord is going to, raise up the tribes of Jacob, which are what? The 12 tribes of Israel. All right. Beginning with the remnant and the elect of that remnant. All right. And he's going to save us, man. Okay. He's going to save the children of Israel. All right. Whether you like it or not, that's whom it's for. All right. That's whom salvation is for. Okay. It says, Jeremiah 3:23, truly in vain is salvation hoped for from the hills and from the multitude of mountains. Truly in Yahweh our power, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai our power, is the salvation of Israel. Okay. Point blank period, man. All right. Salvation is for the nation of Israel, man. This is let me see here. Yeah, Zephaniah 3. And I'll start at verse 16. Zephaniah 3 and 16. In that day it shall be said to Jerusalem, fear thou not, and to Zion, let not thy hands be slack. The Lord thy God in the midst of thee is mighty. He will save, he will rejoice over thee with joy. He will rest in his love. He will joy over thee with singing. All right, because the Lord is going to take us from among these nations. He's going to remove that stony heart and put a fleshy heart within us. All right, he's going to make us immortal. He's going to give us that rod of iron. Right, program us to be perfect, by writing his laws to our inward parts. Right, we're going to be perfect. All right, we're going to be perfected like that, like Yahweh Shai was perfected. And the Lord is going to rejoice over us because, wow, we're going to keep the laws, commandments, statutes, and judgment perfectly. We're not going to go off anymore. This is what that second covenant is about, which, the Lord made with who? Again, the children of Israel. All right, and the children of Judah, which is what? The whole nation of Israel. The 12 tribes, man. Okay? In that day when the Lord changed us, all right, when we're changed, right? And receive that, that immortal body. All right, when the Lord program us to be perfect, we're going to keep the laws perfect. Then when the Lord rejoice over us, man. All right, verse 17, I will gather them that are sorrowful for the solemn assembly, who are of thee, to whom the reproach of it was a burden. And that's us brothers that believe, us brothers and few sisters that believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Because we're the ones that's really sorrowful. Verse 19, behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee, and I will save her that halted, and gather her that was driven out. Right, the Israelites, all right, was driven out of our land, okay? And I will give them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. Okay, because we were put to shame before our enemies by being what? They're captives. All right, they're slaves. See? Because it's a shame for, especially us being the Lord's people, we're a royal people, all right, to be living in the lower state, to be in captivity. All right, you went from glory to shame. Okay, glory being what? Being your own land, right? Being able to, live abundantly, have your own everything, your own, have the law which the Lord had given us, seeing our sons and daughters, grow, right? Instead of that, we have, affliction to endure every day. We watch our sons and daughters grow up in this, wicked society. We don't have, control over that. We don't have dominion over our women. Any of that stuff, man. The things that the Lord had, given it to us or made us to have dominion over, we don't have that. It says, verse 20, at that time will I bring you again, even the time that I gather you, for I will make you a name and a praise among all the people of the earth, when I turn back your captivity before your eyes, saith the Lord. All right, because right now we're not a praise in the earth, man. That's why it says in Jeremiah 15 chapter to give him no rest until he, make Jerusalem a praise in the earth again. I believe that's is that Jeremiah? Oh, I'm sorry, it's Isaiah. All right, Isaiah. Isaiah 62. He says, give him no rest till he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth again. I think that's Isaiah 62, if I ain't mistaken. Yeah, come on. Isaiah 62 and 7, and give him no rest till he establish until he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth. All right, and right now we're not a praise in the earth. All right. And when you jump down to verse 11 in this same chapter, right? It says, behold, the Lord hath proclaimed unto the end of the world. Say ye to the daughter of Zion, behold, thy salvation cometh. Behold, his reward is with him, and his work before him. Yeah, because the Lord, all right, is gonna cause us to be redeemed, okay, out of the hand of our enemies. All right. And Yahweh Shai, which is our Redeemer, is gonna come back and take down our enemies, okay, along with the angels, all right, and the chariots. And those of us that stand stiffly, all right, for the witness and for the word, for the witness of Yahweh Shai and the word of the Most High, we're going to be rewarded. Okay, it speaks about that in Revelation. All right, Yahweh Shai himself said it. Behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me. Verse 12, and they shall call them the holy people, the redeemed of the Lord, and thou shalt be called sought out, a city not forsaken. Okay, and that's what the world's getting ready to witness. Okay, they're getting ready to witness the salvation of Israel, the strangers of her salvation. All right, it just speaks about in Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter. The strangers of his salvation, meaning who? The salvation of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel, which are the so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos or Hispanics, so-called Native American, or so-called indigenous to Americans. See, and that's what the world is going to witness. That's what they're going to be afraid of. The deliverance, the greater deliverance, all right, from spiritually Solomon Egypt, greater than old Egypt, okay? And that was a great deliverance, by the way. So with that, Lord willing, this video have been edifying to those of you who have watched and tuned in. I want to say shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel and Abba. All right, shalom.